Start out with public comment. Sherry?
Yeah, it's regarding the 210 property. I listened to the conversation again about last month, and it seemed to be the driving factor for Patty seemed to be that the owner said he's gonna put up a trailer there. She said because it was centrally located, he might put up a trailer. She was concerned what it might look like and what might be going on down there on Main Street. But I gotta say, look at this building. There's nothing to, this thing is a horrible looking building. It's got holes in the walls. Nothing's been done to improve this property, or for the most part, any other properties that the township owns, other than the beach. And I'm just wondering, do we need yet another piece of property? For those who said there was, more parking was needed in this location, I invite you all to come and sit on my deck. I live right across the street, unfortunately, and really, that's really unfortunate, because I see everything that's going on. Other than the nights when we have meetings here and other folks are here with their activities, is the parking lot even remotely full? The only day that's really crazy and packed out is the 4th of July. The cost was mentioned somewhere between 50, 55,000 without cleaning it up, Kurt said. I'm just not sure. Who do you think this piece of property, if turned into a parking lot, would benefit? People want to park at the location that they're using. It was mentioned also that you guys are working with a tight budget, and if you go forward with a leaf, township-wide leaf pickup, you're gonna need all the funds you can get. I'm just gonna say, this purchase makes as much sense as when you guys spent $6,500 to have an unused building by the fire barn re-roofed and sided. And to me, this is our money that you're wasting. Other people in this audience might agree with me when I say, please, don't waste my money.
Anybody else? Mark?
Yeah, I've been working on my math lately. And I also am using some FOIA information that I had received about payments for the farmland over here by the sewer. If the contract, there's one contract that says it was done from 2014, or 2020, go back up this, 2020, which is 4 years, and at 1925 times 4 years is $7,700. Only $4,770 has been paid. I'm looking at what I got from, you check your head up, I'm looking at what they have on record from the sewer district. So if you know something else, we're not getting that information. So I think right now that you owe the township $2,930 for that part. And I went in and I checked on YouTube, it's a wonderful tool. And they said that for 2 acres of corn, the profit is $350. That's after paying for your corn, you're paying for the equipment, you're paying for the time, you're paying for the fertilizer, so for 2 acres of corn out there at the cemetery, we should be able to get $350. Times 2, that's $700 of profit that goes to you, Kurt. And you've never even asked for permission to use the property. You don't have a contract. If someone gets injured on that when they are working on it, we're paying for it. So I asked if the township would put that on as an item to discuss, and it's not on this. I asked that in public. It is not on here.
Where do you come up with 2 acres?
That's because I'm looking at the,
It's 100 by 100. Barbara, you're so smart, that ain't 2 acres.
I went to the acquisition department, and they told me that it was 2 acres that is being farmed. So that's, I just go and talk to those people. Now, knowing that, if you go back to the fact that your family has been farming that property, I understand your family's been farming that property since it came in. That's 56 years that your family's brought in a profit on our backs.
I just like to say that if it's on YouTube, you know it's the truth.
No, I didn't, I said YouTube, but I didn't. I should have said, I Googled it. And it's
You
from.
don't have to respond to me.
Okay, I'm just telling you, you corrected me on my.
Roger.
No, I'm just,
If we wanna talk about wasting money, we spent what, 20-some thousand on an airboat, probably ain't even been in the water yet. And I hear the fire department and all the sheriff department don't want our department there anyway, if they do a rescue. Cause it might be somebody they know. So there's a waste of money right there, big time.
Anybody else? John?
Looking through here, unless I'm missing something, there's nothing covering the leaf pickup that was discussed last week. And this is August. September obviously is the next meeting. Might be in early fall, but by October, we're definitely gonna have leaves down. So I really hope someone up there clarifies what was decided, how we're gonna move forward and be proactive and not reactive, because I'm not really sure what y'all are thinking right now about leaves.
It's on my list. for the-
Okay.
John?
Yeah, sorry.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll move on. Need a motion to approve the agenda, accept the consent agenda.
Make a motion. I'll second it.
Motion by Nancy, second by Patty. Any more discussion?
Yep, let's add leaves and single hauler to unfinished business, please.
Unfinished.
Correct, until we finish it.
Leave.
Leaves and single hauler.
Anything else, sir?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Now I need a motion to accept the consent agenda. And
Motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Lee, second by Sarah. Any more discussion?
I do appreciate that we are now being able to view the sewers bills.
Yes.
Any more? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Down to Chris.
Yeah, last month at our July meeting, we had a guy come in and request some money to help with a electronics recycling at the Macomb Community College Tech Fest. And we approved $4,000 to help with that. The other big thing we had was, Andy Dozema, the undersheriff, came in, and our medical doctor that works for us in the jail resigned, and we had to hire a new company. And it's Advanced Correctional Healthcare, and we approved a contract with them. So we got medical coverage there. Then this month, we had another construction ordinance variance here on the north side of the lake by Richard Street. We just approved that yesterday, or Monday, excuse me. We approved veterans, the veterans office up there. We approved a bunch of renovations in there. That's about it. Judge Eggleston was in, and we approved a wage scale and a new magistrate appointment, and that's all I got.
Do you have a date for that electronics recycling?
I don't know. It says during the week of 9/16 to 9/21, but I don't think we have a confirmed date yet.
That's fall for
It's when they have their Tech Fest stuff going on over there. I'm not sure what day they're actually gonna run. If I get it, I'll send it to you.
Was there any more discussion, per Commissioner Peterson, and I believe Commissioner Carr, about having some sort of committee from the unzoned townships?
We did approve Brenda, our controller, to look into what we would have to do to make a committee for that, but we haven't done anything with it yet.
Okay.
What was the reason for the construction variance? What they wanna do?
Too close to property line on the one side, but they're already built out 3 feet from it anyway. I mean, he's just gonna build back on the original side there.
Is there a reason we're not getting notices of those anymore, you know?
I don't know, I thought
We
you
used
were,
to.
but, well, I'll ask Brenda why they're not, you said you were actually, Michelle, she said it's all.
I just wasn't sure,
I'll
because I
find
know
out why
we
you're
used
not.
to get them.
Should go there first.
What's that? Oh. I'll ask Michelle what
Done? Anybody else got a question for the commission? Okay, we'll move on. Fire report. Fire, had 2 smoke investigation, 1 gas leak, 1 vehicle fire, motorcycle, 1 mutual aid to Carson City, 1 power line down, total of 6 runs, 1 business meeting, 1 training meeting, other business, 1 new FF, 1 new FF application. Firefighter.
Nice.
Okay, that moves us down to DPW,
I might remember what it's about.
DPW workers would like to get a roller, lawn roller. So they could, in the park, I guess, where some of the tracks are, try to smooth them out.
Is that a sticky note, Kurt?
What?
Was it, it's on that, the one Sarah gave us for the short-term rental.
That Nancy did, but yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
I didn't know, sorry, Nancy.
They got some trees that need removed in Spencer and Crystal. Guess we just need to,
Some in the township park too.
and some in the 1 or 2 in the township park. And then we need to put, they're gonna do that, put a fence, come across that 1 steep hill. And since we're on DPW, I don't know if you've all noticed where they put the porta johns, and now where they put the new seating and the tiers, it's not the green it should be, color green. We met today with the guy that did the work. He says, well, it's in good and thick. He says, we're not lawn care.
What color of green are you speaking about?
It's like it's dying.
The grass?
Yeah, but they seeded.
Probably a little dry, I don't know.
Yeah, but under the soaker system, it should be dry.
Is that indicative of we need more horsepower?
No, I think, and he agreed, I think they need some fertilizer. Right here by the, where they put the handicap too, you'll see it, it's, and they thought that too, but. So do you wanna have a lawn care come and see what they cost us, or see what they think, or?
Why don't we just try some fertilizer, lawn fertilizer?
Okay.
So anyway, I think what the guys wanted was, to be able to get prices for those things. So I would make a motion that they could get prices on a lawn roller and on having some trees cut down.
And if we're gonna do trees in places, let's go around every township property and do our diligence and take care of the ones that need taken care of.
Good idea.
All the cemeteries, all the parks, this.
I agree.
Motion by Sarah, or Nancy, seconded by Patty to go ahead and let them get prices for all that stuff. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Shirley, Duckley, you got something? Nobody here from, okay.
I can speak, Shirley's not, she didn't send you a report, I'm the treasurer on the Duckley report. Update is we had a second cutting last week, I think it went really well. We're getting rid of some of the mud blocks in the middle, I think we have another, treatment coming up next week. I also had the, DNR fisheries representative come out, and I gave her a tour of the lake, because we're thinking about, investing in some stocking of maybe perch. And she thought the lake looked good, was in a good condition. She's also proposing that we invest in a walleye, modification on the fisheries. Like you have here in Crystal, I believe it took about 1.5 years, and you're able to take pike out of the lake, and it helps with the population. So, we're looking into stocking for perch and maybe pulling some younger, pike out of our lake.
Downtown Authority, Dave.
Yeah, I got just a couple of quick ones. The music in the park has been going great. We've had a good year, thanks to Deb here. And we've got just 3 more performances yet to go. So we're down to 3. Along with that, the DDA summer raffle, the electric golf cart has gone extremely well. And I was gonna say the drawing is on August 29th, the last MIP performance. There's limited tickets, so if anybody wants tickets, they need to get them, because we're gonna hopefully run out.
How many do you have left? How many do you have left?
I don't know, 'cause we have.
Well, it depends on how many you count out there at
Yeah.
the different places. I think I might have maybe 170 on me. That
We
I'm
only
just waiting
printed,
for them.
we've only printed 800, so we're
Yeah.
down, we're gonna get down to the last wire here. The other thing I'd like to mention, at our last EDA meeting, the board approved another facade grant. That brings the total facade grants that we've approved to 6. We've approved 6 of them. And that's really provided an investment into the community a little over $20,000. So the DDA has invested a little over $20,000 in trying to improve the downtown district. And I think that's all I have, unless one of my compatriots would like to say something. That's it.
Thanks, Dave. Montgomery County Police Report, Officer.
Only 2 notable events for July. Both larcenies did not appear to be related. Subject in the first larceny was identified. Item was returned to the property owner, who did not wish to pursue charges. It was a juvenile, local kid, so they worked that out amongst themselves. Second was a employee of the racetrack on a busy Saturday night during fireworks. Had her bag come up missing, that is near the ticket counter. It appears somebody on their way out just grabbed it, and that was the end. So, no leads on the suspects for that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trustee report.
All right. Did we all check out our township focus?
Did, several weeks ago.
Understanding risk management, I think it's kind of funny. It seems like there are a number of things that I've brought up that then a month or so later, boom, happens to be in the township focus. And it seemed like I was a party of one speaking to one about these things. Like minimizing risk, this playground out here, and even talking with our insurance agent. It seemed like he just did not care, which seems really odd to me, because when we owned an old school, to get insurance on it, we had to make sure that the playground was safe and up to date, and it was inspected. That was part of having insurance, to minimize that exposure. So I found it very curious that, ta-da, there it is in understanding risk management. We all have exposure as individuals, but as a township, we have more, because we have people in and out. In part of this, it is important to review all your property values annually to ensure that they are insured in the proper way and at the proper level, and to stay apprised of current laws, regulations, processes, and procedures. So I think we really need to step it up in the land of insurance. Contracts to be certain to go through contracts, but it put a point on a thought of, okay, for the last 4 to 5 months, I've used trustee report to bring about things that I thought were important that I've learned about. I have either asked or given those supplemental materials to have discussions about, and we haven't. And I am getting a little frustrated with that, because this is the people's assets, this is the people's money. We need to do things at a level that is greater than the individual.
A lot of those things are things that I would think everyday people would look at for their own personal belongings. So we, as a board, should be doing that for the township, property. And I don't think we are doing it right. Just saying.
And, well, and all of those things from the webinar that Nancy asked us to all watch. All of this is important information. It keeps us on the right path. It keeps the assets of the people in a safer state. I'm at a loss as to why we can't be more involved with this. And that was the one I asked to read before, was boosting board engagement. We are supposed to disagree. We are supposed to discuss to come to the best answer. We are supposed to have different thoughts.
That was one of my favorite articles in that one right there. Like I said, I have it on I was talking to Sarah about it before the meeting. I actually have it on my phone, and I have the screenshots so I can go back and look at it on a daily basis, because that one to me was the most powerful one.
Yeah.
And it's about working as a group, and
Yeah, and we don't have to like each other. We need to work together.
we can
We
agree
need to
to
keep
disagree.
control of our anger.
That was my favorite one.
Done?
Did anybody read this one? What do you guys think about minimizing exposure and going through all of our contracts, all of our properties, and assessing where we're at? When is the last time that's been done as a whole township inventory?
I think someplace in the expenditure policy is about contracts and how often they need to be reviewed. I think.
But when is the last time that's been done here as a whole inventory of the township?
I don't think it's hardly ever.
Well, I think, because when we're talking, because the insurance policy, I'm gonna say is October first.
September, October, something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think it's usually October first or whatever, so we should be getting that from him, from Dave at that time, so I think that would be a good time for all.
And I
of
think
you.
maybe a little bit before that, because we had pieces of property we didn't know we owned. So, like, where are we at then? We're totally exposed. So we need to do some work before the Dave
It
time.
really wouldn't hurt to look at our current policy, Pat, and start looking at the values and coverages and things like that. If we wait until he presents that policy, we don't have much time to look at it.
And if that means, we have a work session where the board does their work and then the public can have an opportunity for comment, like, we need to get some work done. That's your trustee report.
Okay, put on unfinished business, policy cash handling. We're still waiting from the,
Well, that one, because because Nancy thought there were some changes for it.
No, you sent something that said if you wanted, if this is what we've got, if you want any changes, let me know, and I didn't reply.
Okay, so nobody had any changes? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know that there weren't changes, I wasn't sure, so that one's ready to go then.
expenditure policy.
Those are both.
They're both same
together.
thing?
Both
Okay.
together. No, they're not the same thing, but they're both together.
And they're both ready to go.
Okay, park project. I'd say we met with Dave from Wolverine. The guy that was the head of the engineer, Dave. They did a little more work on the slope. I think they smoothed the parking lot out over here. Mark from the road commission, I talked to him. I think he's gonna, cause coming across, dumping the dirt, they tore a hunk of tar up.
The driveway.
Yeah, going up that hill a little bit. And Mark sounded like maybe the county would take care of that for us.
For cost.
No, he said free.
Really?
So when was the final inspection supposed to be done? Wasn't it passed by now? It was supposed to be.
Yeah, we're on the clicking money back towards us
Right.
time, I would think, but then
That's what I
an
meant.
extension was discussed, but we didn't vote on one, I don't believe, so where are we on the timeline?
I think today was the final, today was,
Right.
he said it finally, because they ran into back,
Because of consumers.
and because of consumers and the lights were on back order.
Yeah.
So those got in, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
And then they had because of the erosion and stuff, the rain, we got all those heavy rains, they had to come back and do some, that's what they were there today doing, is the modification on that one corner that was eroding and put some more grass seed down. So, Dave doesn't want to issue the final engineer until he sees that the grass, that restoration is complete. You know, he said that you can't determine if restoration is complete until you've got grass showing.
Well, grass grows better in the fall and spring, so we'll get to the wrong time of year.
That's
Part of that right there.
And then Dave's coming next week to work with our DPWs. We still got a problem, the bottom layer down here when the rains, water comes washing the sand away.
Oh, what's the,
They put a tile in there thinking that, but he put sand over, which I didn't do the job. So now they're gonna try limestone, or maybe cement. He's gonna stop and look at crushed cement today on his way back to Lansing.
so what's the big piles of sand for? Just
To
for the kids
build-
to like,
Well, no, I think they might have moved it.
they're doing a good job.
Did they
spreading
move it
out.
today?
I have no idea.
They're supposed to with their track, they need to build it up a little bit to that bottom of that cement a little
Oh,
more.
okay.
Did we
Kids loved it.
ever figure out the $3,000 discrepancy in the
My
billing?
next question. 'Cause
When
there was a
I talked to
$3,000.
Spencer and I told him I actually had a copy of a contract unsigned that showed that that was the wrong amount he was starting with. He said he would take care of it, and I said, well,
When I talked to him, he said it was something to do with the engineer or something, or them guys that did the
I know, as soon as I told him I had a copy of it, he kind of backed
back
up.
up.
So we'll see what happens when it's final.
final, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, that's what they said.
Final. Okay, park and recreation plan. Number one on the survey.
Survey looks pretty cute and nice to me.
I thought so too.
Okay,
So nobody's got any changes to it?
I don't think there needs to be any, but that's just my opinion.
the next question for you, for a public engagement. They come up and wanna listen to us again, they want $2,000.
Listen to us.
Oh, that is.
Public, yeah, the public meeting,
meeting.
hold a public meeting to
To what?
hear what the
Hear
public
what the
wants.
public wants.
Well, we
I
need
thought
to
that's
do,
what the survey was for.
Well, there are some people that, I think we had talked about didn't have access to online, so they couldn't fill it out. So we were talking about having another in-person for those.
I thought we
So-
also had said that perhaps we would have copies here, people could come in here, there was a lot of different
Right.
ways, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we did. That was just the topic of them coming back.
Should we wait and see what kind of survey we get back?
I think so, I don't,
Can we put something on the website that surveys are here and have them
Right.
outside the door?
yes, yes, can totally do that, and also put it,
I'll let her know that there
Right
are
now.
no changes and that they can start, and then we'll go, I'm not sure where it goes from there, but.
okay, I will get that on Facebook and on the website.
Maybe we should hold off
another
and make sure we
question.
get it back, okay, from.
Yeah, sure.
Until they're ready to push it out on Survey Monkey.
Yes, and can we inquire with McKenna if they would do a virtual meeting, and that might possibly be at a lesser amount, and then they could facilitate and have the answers to the questions that folks will have.
That's a good idea.
I want something in here that is relating to the fact that, Sarah kinda already mentioned it, we just don't have enough upkeep done at all of our parks, that's all there is to it. They just kind of get the bare minimum and that's it. So whether or not, that's my opinion, so whether or not that should be in a survey, I don't know, but.
Probably not in this survey, but probably we could give direction to our newly formed.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Employee holidays.
So we had talked last time, and somebody had mentioned if the holiday, Juneteenth should be included in our, as a holiday for our employees.
pulled the personnel handbook here, and we have holidays designated right here.
Right.
Townships observe 7.
Yeah.
To be eligible for full holiday pay, you have to be a regular full-time employee on the date the holiday occurs, so
Yeah.
that's Mitch and Kevin.
And,
Ron,
Ron, he's not full-time, is he?
yeah.
Oh, he is? Okay.
yeah, and see, the other thing, and I guess that was some of the question that came up, now I can't touch it, but to be a full-time employee, you have to have 1,564 hours or something like that in here. And our part-time employee questions, you know, he's working 40 hours a week, so he feels he's a full-time employee. But
Seasonally he is, but not
yeah,
year round.
under the handbook, I didn't think that was appropriate, so, okay. I just wanna make sure I was in agreement with that. And then the other thing that came up, related employee handbook, it all goes together, is the clothing allowance. DPW employees have always gotten $200 a year, and I found the motion back in December 14th of 2011, that the DPW get $200 a year for clothing allowance. The question was, why doesn't the sewer department get that? Should the sewer department get that? But I don't see anything in the handbook related to the clothing allowance.
Well, and I think that's kind of a weird one anyway, because usually the jobs I've worked at, either you buy it from the business that you're working at, or they provide it, or you come with your own clothes, and that just seems
Yeah.
very odd to me.
Some of the factories will pay for shoes.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, a good pair of boots, $200 is barely gonna cover.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with the clothing allowance.
I don't either.
I don't have a problem with it, it just stands out as weird to me, in my experience.
So do we extend it to the sewer end is the question.
Sewer at one time, and I had to check with Kevin, they had uniforms
used to have
because of the
uniforms.
sewer.
Yeah.
But then I think they might have bought them or something, bought their own washer and dryer because it was cheaper than getting a uniform
Yeah.
truck coming there every week.
Did he put it in the budget this year?
I don't think.
That's my first
Well,
question.
have
Where do you
Greg
get
ask
money?
about it, Pam, or you wanna check with them, what are you thinking here? Is it just that you're
Oh,
wondering
was
if
it
they
this,
should be
sorry?
included?
Yeah, if they should be included or not.
Well, they are employees, so by
Yes.
that logic that, yes, the sewer is employees of the township.
So they should
Then they
also
should.
be getting the same benefit.
Should we have a,
Motion.
should we do a motion on the holidays deal too, that we leave it the way it is in our handbook?
I move that we leave the holidays the way they are in our handbook.
I will second that.
Motion by Sarah, seconded by Nancy, to keep our holidays the way they are in the handbook. How about, then, you need one for the clothing again? or
Let's
something?
vote on that one first.
Oh, right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Now we need one,
A motion to add the sewer department to the clothing allowance of $200,
Paid September 1st.
paid September 1st.
I'll second
motion by Lee, second by Patty, to add the sewer department to our clothing, $200 allowance once a year. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Before we go on, since we're talking about employees, Pat, have you been catching anything about, as of January, all W-2 employees will be accruing sick time? So that's something to start working on right now. And I know there's some variances there on how many employees, et cetera,
Yeah,
but
it
you might
seems like
wanna
when I
start
looked,
looking
yeah, when
at
I looked at it, it seems like it was over, yeah,
I
I
wouldn't,
can't remember.
I wouldn't wait, because
No.
that's gonna take some tracking.
Yeah.
That's just my suggestion.
Review, sick leave, I know I saw something before.
And I'm sure MTA's on it. In fact, I think that's one of the places that was mentioned as well.
I looked at it before, I didn't even have to worry about it, but I can't remember what the details.
We have W-2 employees.
Right, but I think we were, anyway, we'll look at the specifics.
Okay, that moves us down to the property, 210 South Main Street. Family got back with us. The realtor told him he could sell it within a month between 50 and 60,000. They want, if they clean the mess up, they want 65 for it, but it sounded like they'd probably take 62.
For a parking
Too
lot,
much
I
money
think
for a
that-
parking spot, I'm sorry. I'd rather see a trailer there where somebody could live. What did our appraisal come back at?
Yeah, that's what, it
No less than that.
was less than that.
Yeah.
Not sharing?
Appraisal came in at 51,000 the way it's set.
Okay, that one's right there.
Is there anything the DDA could think about working with us on something to improve the, DDA district?
I'll have to hold a special meeting to get input on it. I really don't have enough input at the moment to say, well, it is in the district. It is in the district.
Yeah.
So I'd have to get us together and we'd have to talk about what kind of.
I say let him sell it.
Hey,
Not
we
us.
added to developer day.
There you go.
Was the property originally, I thought they'd offered it to the township for 40.
No, I think it was.
Last month it was 60, the way it was. And I tried to get it for 60 if they cleaned it up, because the appraisal came in at 50, after it'd probably take 5,000 to 6,000 to clean it up, all dirt in.
I see it's currently assessed at 40.
So I'd make it 108, or I'd make it 80.
Well, let's say if that's in perfect condition, though, we can all see what that house looks like on the outside, and who knows what it looks like on
But
the
if they're
inside.
being taxed on SCB of 40.
Being taxed on, taxable is 22.
Thank you, David, yes, it is.
The SCB is 40.
Right.
44.
I bet you any new buyers could go in there and get that assessed value dropped right back down.
Is it condemned?
No, the renters moved out back in April. It probably should be now, but. Okay,
Condemned?
yeah.
We don't need it condemned.
No, and it does contain unknown contaminants.
Well, it is built, that's what I was looking for in here. I pulled the card on it, the assessor's card. It's definitely got lead paint in, and it probably has asbestos. Why do you wanna mess with that?
He said himself, if he tears it down, he can get around a lot of that stuff.
Hey.
But if us buy it and then have him tear it down, you gotta go through more.
He is a LLC. He can't get around nothing. He is not a private individual.
He said he got caught down to the hospital, cleaning the mess up, and,
Got caught?
yeah, got a fine. Because it was
Okay,
a hospital, and he said, DEQ told him if it was his own, he didn't need that, it would've been all right. But since it was for the hospital,
own.
you fall under different regulations.
his own individual is different than his own LLC, and we are not an individual nor an LLC. So why would we want to receive a piece of potentially polluted property without having a baseline environmental assessment, which phase 1 is about $1,500, and if you need to go into phase 2, that can go between $15,000 and $20,000, depending on the testing that needs to be done. And I know this because it is on the website of Rhodes McKee, and full disclosure, we are related to them.
Okay, we'll move down to new business. 414 South Main Street, it's down by the old, town hall. They say we need to have it surveyed.
To do it correctly, we really should,
Well,
because I talked to Caitlin a lot,
That's
and
what
that
Caitlin
is
told us.
the main issues with people that
Get
are
the right
trying to
description.
get the property lines corrected to sell something, they don't get a survey first.
And that's what
it's a
she
mess.
said, was that the description that's on that property right now is incorrect.
Yeah.
So we need to
So you
make a motion that we
get it surveyed?
get its property at 414 South Main Street surveyed so that we can work on turning it over to the appropriate owner.
Second that.
Motion by Patty, second by Sarah to hire a surveyor to come in and survey 114 South Main Street.
Okay, wait a minute, to turn it over to the appropriate owner, they're just gonna
No,
give it?
no, but we gotta get the
You
survey.
gotta get the survey, those are the
Okay.
descriptions.
Okay, yeah, no,
No,
for a free, right?
yeah.
At least the
Okay,
cost of the survey.
all in favor of getting the surveyors, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Parks and Recreational Committee. Oh, wait, we gotta go up.
No. Eight. Which
No, that's
is-
new business.
No,
No,
eight.
eight leaves and then single
Leave.
hauler.
Always
There you go.
So to actually make
Rest.
activity happen, it needed to be at this meeting. So as we came to on the same page with single hauler garbage,
Out.
it is
Out.
out until a survey tells us differently,
Yes.
is the motion I would like
And
to
I would
make.
second that.
Motion by Sarah, second by Leash. For single haulers, be out for now, so we either have a survey, it's a done deal,
Just stays out.
stays out, stays out. Okay, how about for the leaf now?
Let's vote on that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Now the leaf.
And it was by, de facto poll that we are going to do leaves for the entire township.
So if you were outside where they normally pick up, you could call Patty, right?
Wait a minute, you said you were doing the schedule, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can work on schedule with, I said yes.
Will you put some numbers with that so we have a ballpark idea of how much that is actually in expenditure per season?
That's what I wanted to say next. We need a labor cost, gas cost, and repair cost consistently kept year to year, so we can actually show what this free service is costing.
Okay.
So I have next Friday off. I would like to sit down and see if I could get Mitch to meet me here, and him and I can sit down.
Mitch doesn't always work on Fridays or all day.
Can we find
Yeah,
out?
he's
He's
here
gonna be
till
on Friday, next
11 or
Friday.
so, is it 10, 11?
Next Friday, being what date? Not this Friday.
Right.
23rd, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
What's up?
The 23rd. See, and let me know. I mean, if not, I can,
His phone number is on the website, just hit him with a
Well,
text
I
and
guess
set it
I-
up, we've been out your mess.
875-9007.
Yeah.
I'll get with him.
All in favor of the leaf pickup?
Do we make a motion?
No. Sarah, did you make a motion on that?
No, I move that for this season of 2024, everyone in the township is included and has the possibility to use the service of the leaf pickup.
Motion by Sarah, second by Patty, for leaf, everybody in the township to have the use of the leaf pickup. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
I'm
Oh,
opposing,
you're
and the
opposed?
fact that I'm sorry, this needs to be around the lakes. Now, this has passed, that's great, but it should be around the lakes only. That's just my opinion.
4-1.
Yeah, 4-1.
Do we want to think about trying to hire a part-time person to help them?
Did you get any last year's, at least labor cost for leaf pickup? I mean, you gotta know when they work. You gotta know when
All we
they get
had,
raised.
is Mitch, Sarah helped him, then Ron and Kevin helped quite a bit with the other one.
Well, see why we gotta keep track of what people are doing and when. So you think we need 3 people, is what you're saying?
It'd probably be easier picking up, when you think, Sarah, you did it.
Mitch and I did it with 2.
But,
Running the hose and another guy could be there with a rake,
right,
you
and
know?
I've seen them do it that way, you gotta have somebody driving the truck. I make a motion, Pat, that maybe we could add a person part-time just for leaf pickup, or would that be a part-time temporary? Actually, it might be full-time temporary.
That'd be 40 hours a week probably for.
Right, so,
3
yeah,
or 4
what do we-
weeks.
how we phrase that. I made that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Nancy, second by Leash, to hire a part-time help during leaf pickup. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried, 4-1.
And I think we need to know numbers on that before we go hiring somebody else.
Okay. Now that moves us down to new business.
You did 414 South Main, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
Park and Rec Committee.
So,
Right now, people have put in, they wanna be on it, is Anna, Robert Knoll, Chris Mason, Linda Horak, Tammy Yates, and Deb Woodard.
Okay, well, it says we're gonna have 5 members unless we're changing our resolution.
Our ordinance.
Oh, change the ordinance. Parking ordinance. You are right. Ordinance number 18, excuse me, of 2006.
Do we wanna interview the people? Do we?
I think looking at their resumes are good enough. And Linda was not able to be here, but I think she was the first one that put a resume in. And a letter of interest. So.
Yes, and her work with grants and state agencies is like, I can't believe the wealth of experience that we have in the people who have applied.
And as far as, doing events already, I think Deb would be perfect on the committee as well.
There was a motion made back in 96 that said that establishment of any recreation commission would have an authority over the park, Crystal Park and the beach area shall have at least one DDA board member on its board. So we need to make sure one person is the DDA member, so that could either be Anna or Deb.
I think I'm gonna be perfect as well.
So I don't think we need 2 DDA members on the board. One DDA member is great, but let's get some more voices into the choir.
Robert Knoll stands out to me as having a lot of experience. I mean, he's got a lot of planning commission, he said he's written ordinances, developed township. I think he would be a good person to be on it.
Yes, I think so as well. And then talking about our exposure and our playgrounds and our risk, to me, that speaks to the law. So someone with legal experience like Mr. Mason would be a giant benefit for us.
I agree.
And are you on the DDA too?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Is someone from the board on the commission or on the committee?
I don't think we really need to be. We can go to their meetings if we want to and know what's going on and exchange ideas without putting our finger in the pie, I think. And it definitely is not in our ordinance that a board member needs to be on.
So I've got, recommend about 4, Anna, Robert Knoll, Chris Mason, Linda Horak, and Deb, no, Tammy Gates.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
Tammy would be a good one too.
I think she would too.
I know, we only can have 5, our ordinance says 5, not 6. I think any of them would be valuable. There I got it, okay. Two copies there.
What a problem to have. Too many people
What a
who wanna
problem to
help.
have.
They're awesome.
So we have what, 6 people?
Yeah. I make a motion motion, we put Deb Woodard on.
I'll second.
Motion by me, second by Leash, put Deb Woodard on.
Little discussion. Yep. Deb, I dig Deb. Deb's got a ton of hats already from her list. You know, let's spread this around is kind of what I'm getting at with, let's put some hats on some heads with none. That's my discussion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried, 3-2. Now we gotta pick up, or do we let them do it?
Cause we have,
Chairperson.
They pick their
well,
own
but
chair.
when we appoint, one is appointed for 5 years, one is appointed for 4 years. Do we pick those years?
The stagger.
They got divided. Oh.
So we got 5, 4, 3, 2,
I would say
1.
so, Carl.
Yes.
And I say we just go
Yeah,
down the list.
you are a party of one.
You gotta
We're
okay the
moving
rest
forward,
of
it's
them.
all yours.
Somebody wanna
We
put
gotta do all
a
of them.
motion for all the rest of them?
I'll make a motion to approve Anna, Robert Knoll, Chris Mason, and Linda Horak, the other members of the committee.
I will second that.
Motion by Patty, second by Elise, put Anna, Robert, Chris, and Linda Horrocks on. Any more discussion?
I don't like batching it up like that. Like, these guys
Okay.
have different strengths.
Okay, well, why don't we do it individually? How about that?
That's what I thought we were doing.
I'll make a motion to support Anna for the Park and Recreation Committee.
I will second that.
Motion by Patty, second by Elise, to put Anna on. All in favor, say aye.
No, discussion.
Discussion?
I don't think we need 2 DDA people on a 5-person board. The DDA has their own board.
I think both of their experience speaks for themselves. And I think they would both be good on the committee.
I think they both be
I don't
good.
think anyone would be bad.
No, I'm just saying,
Okay.
to
I
me.
think they would both be good, but I agree. 2 DDA members don't need to be on another committee. 1, okay, not 2.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried, 3-2.
I make a motion to support Robert Knoll for the Park and Recreation Committee.
I'll second that.
Motion by Patty, second by Sarah to put Robert Knoll on. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Opposed? None. Chris Mason.
I'll make a motion for Chris Mason.
I'll second.
Motion by Nancy, seconded by Patty to put Chris Mason on. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Linda Horrocks.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Nancy, seconded by Elise. Put Linda on. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Welcome.
Kurt, I have one correction, you have to put my name on there as Deb Powell, legal name Powell,
Oh, okay.
I didn't change my name, so.
Yeah, Paul.
I have no number.
Dan?
Did you guys determine the length of each of their terms? Or is that a free-for-all?
1 member for 5 years,
First
1
one,
member for 4.
1, second one 2, third one 3, fourth one 4, fifth one 5.
So, are we determining that, or we gonna let them
We determine that. They elect their chair.
Okay. Right.
So we'll have
Deb was
vacancies, so
one.
this will mean we'll have vacancies occurring each year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which will be good,
Yes.
in case anybody else wants to be on there.
So Deb is 1 year, Ann is 2, and again, interpreting what Sarah said, Robert was 3, Chris was 4, and Linda was 5.
Is that necessarily the way to do it, just by the way that we made the motion?
I think Chris Mason should be 5
Yeah,
years. to
I
be
kinda
honest.
think that would be a good idea too.
All right, so we're gonna make a
Chris,
motion.
5. Linda 4.
You could have told them.
So Alicia, you're making a motion for Chris to be 5.
Yes.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Discussion.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, I'll make a motion that Linda Horick will be the next.
4.
No, I think we're down to 3.
It's 4. 5. We did a 5 and a 4. This
So
should be
this
4.
one's 3.
Robert, no, you mean?
I said Linda Horick.
Oh, we had her down as 4. You wanna move her to 3?
Leave her at
Okay.
4.
We can't just, we weren't just arbitrarily going to write the number of terms they were gonna do by the way we
So
Chris
Chris
has
has got
got
5,
Chris has
made a
got
motion for
5.
5, now we're on to the motion for a 4-year. Who do we want in a 4-year term?
Bob Knoll. I will move Bob Knoll as for your term.
I will second that.
Motion by Sarah, second by Elise, put Bob Knoll in for a 4-year term. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, now I'll make a
3-year
motion
term.
to put Linda Horick in for the 3-year term.
Second.
Motion by Nancy, seconded by Sarah to put Linda Horrocks in for a 3-year term. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Now 2.
I'll make a motion for Anna for 2.
Second.
Motion by Patty, seconded by Nancy to put Ann in for a 2-year. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. 1 year be Deb Powell.
I'll make a motion for Deb in for 1 year.
Second.
Motion by Patty, second by Nancy, put Deb in for 1 year. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. You all get a letter sent to you.
And I think we should give them all a copy of ordinance 18, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Also ethics policy.
Yes. And the FOIA policy.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Should the committee have a meeting before your next town boardship meeting? So we all get together before that and.
I think you need to, my thinking is you need to have a quick meeting, cause you gotta make a chairperson so you can start dealing with,
Okay.
McKenna. They need somebody they can contact.
There is 3, is Bob not here?
Nope.
Okay, there's 3 of you here. And so you need to be able to get a hold of the other 2 and come to a consensus on a meeting.
Just say each of us get a letter with that, then they'll have their notification.
Hey, you're
I don't know, that's what Kurt said.
Plus, that's right here in the bottom of your,
You're writing that?
it says, I will send a newsletter.
No, that was for us.
Oh, that was for us.
Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna send them on until they were on.
They know they're on. I guess we would need to contact Linda and Bob Knoll.
What you guys thinking? You 3.
Probably need to have the contact information for all 5 of us.
Right, well, you 3 can share.
I'll try to
and
send an email out tomorrow with the information that's attached on each of these to everybody, for all
And
5
we'll
of
agree on
you.
a time to meet.
I'll try to get that out tomorrow, maybe afternoon.
Okay, that moves us down to
where we at?
community center roof.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know, Sarah.
Wait a minute, we all can see.
I
it.
asked for it to be put on because I was alerted to the fact that, we have buckets on the new roof part, and that's why it's back on.
Well, we also have, a tile that's bulging and there's a container to hold water below it, right down near the mechanical room, correct? That's been pretty obvious for a week or so.
And it was, I
When they
believe,
were up checking the roof,
When you say we're checking the road.
checking the roof, they cracked it, walking on it. Our DPW guys.
Okay, things happen. I don't know why it'd be that brittle, but things happen. Were they right on the scene?
They're right above whatever's pipe of the
Well, no,
medical
the
room.
seams would be where.
Yeah, but that's about where it broke.
Well, I would get somebody to do something because
Pat and Mitch, but I told Mitch he better because I take it ain't gonna take much weight up there. The patches.
What do you mean? Repeat what you just said.
Get Mitch, cause he's like, go out in there and patch.
Oh. Mitch know how to patch that type of roof?
Well, they
You really should
They
have someone
patch
that
it.
knows what they're doing.
patched this one over here.
So we
From the
avoided our
covered part of the
warranty
building?
every way from
Right.
Sunday.
Well, that's what I told. Pat just went ahead and did it without any permission, and I said, now you
But
just.
that's, wait a minute. He did it without permission?
That's an $80,000 coating on that roof. He just went and
Absolutely.
took it upon himself. That is,
That's the one over here.
that is for the personnel administrator to give direction on. That is not for an employee to discuss.
You mean on the old building?
No, it's where the walk-in right here.
Which is on our new roof?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one they had to come back last year to redo.
Right, and that's what brought up the we need a logbook, and then when the leaves were all crazy and we saw them in June, and I talked about it at the last meeting, like, how are we missing the mark so hard?
You know, Pat, he tries to be very, very helpful.
All right.
However, yeah.
But if they don't have
So
experience.
now, what's our thoughts now?
I just had them guys go, but we can call them, but I don't think they're gonna do anything for, it, you know.
Well,
But
they
we can
shouldn't do
call
it
them.
for free no matter
No.
what.
No, but I think.
And they
Wanna have them come and do it?
Quite frankly,
I would like the roofing company to put
Yes.
it on to fix
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I doubt they'd come back here the way they've been treated. We
I,
can try.
I also have that thought, but that's who we bought this
Well-
product from. They are going to be the most well-equipped to
With
deal
us.
with it and
I
fix it.
agree.
We'll start out with them.
Okay, good idea. Want a motion on that?
Go ahead.
Okay, make a motion to call our roofing company to see if they're willing to come and help repair our roof that we damaged. So make sure they know that.
I don't know, they just walking, it ain't like he was doing something, he was up there checking the drains and stuff, and it ain't like he was up there with a shovel, you know.
It was still our, because of an action that we did.
Right, over here, Mike, but we didn't do nothing here, so we might still be pissed.
Yeah.
Okay, Nancy made a motion to call our roofing company to put it up there. Pat seconded it, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion, all opposed? Motion carried.
So if I wouldn't have asked to put that onto this agenda, would you have even told us?
About the roof?
Well, yeah, because it seems like you didn't really want to tell us.
No, I told them to go ahead and fix it, because I figured they wrecked our warranty. But they already did over here. Oh, here, I'll just tell them not to. They've been too busy. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, any more public comment? Deb?
I kind of have two things, I brought to your attention about the bushes out there, that looks so much better, thanks,
You're welcome.
looks really nice. And the other one was the leaf pickup, I'm gonna be moving up to my parents' house, which is on, Blackmere and Sydney Road, which is out in the country, but it's still in the township, so I still will be able, although we probably won't, but that far out, they'll still be able to pick up leaves.
They don't get it township wide.
Okay, all right.
It always has been township wide, but very seldom anybody out in the country calls in, but you can.
And then, when Sarah gave her report, so what is your proposal of doing, you guys as the board will get together and figure out what you wanna do for that risk management? And then present it to the public? Okay, I just wondered what you guys were.
Well, it's been talked about a few times and I've completely been ignored, and I think it's important.
So I think we agreed to start with our current insurance policy.
Mhm.
And you want-
I just wanted to, bring to the board's attention, the DDA was, approached about sponsoring the benches in the park. And, there's been some interest to pay for the engraving and basically pay for the bench. I think Sarah was at our last meeting and there was discussion that the money would go to the township. The DDA would help coordinate, getting the engraving done, we would help how we could. But that the announcement that, the township was willing to take interest, and if, since we only have benches, if we ended up getting more than 4 people coming forward, that we would draw names out of a hat to make it equitable, but that we would, that the township would put an announcement out. Can I propose that that's done and that is acceptable? I think that we were thinking around $1,500, which would cover the cost of a bench, so it's not insignificant, but they get something on the bench.
You wanna write up the verbiage for that?
I can put something together for some text and then send it to you, Sarah, so it can be made. And then we'll put like a kind of a date to it as well, to all interested parties providing, by a certain time, so that then we can pick the 4. Yep.
So you want us to, receive that money, like, into the donations to the park project? Is that what you want?
It'll be
So that we
money.
know.
I mean, I would love to have it as the treasurer of the DDA, but we agree that it makes more sense to go to the township since you paid for the benches, and it'll just help to
Well, this is to buy more benches though, correct?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yep, if there's an assessment from the Park and Rec plan that more benches are needed and where the locations are, we could actually do more benches at a later time.
Okay.
But for the 4 we have.
Is there any talk of donations for the pavilions?
Well, it's good that I was, the second thing I was
Oh,
gonna tell
sorry.
you. No, it's all right. Tomorrow is the day where my grant that I applied for the pavilions should be announced.
Oh,
So fingers
wow.
crossed that we'll get the $75,000 for the 2 pavilions. And that, I think we would approach that the same way.
Okay.
But we haven't gotten the award yet, so I don't wanna leap to any conclusions yet. But I would come to you and also make a suggestion, and we'd have to come up with a dollar figure, because there's only 2, of how we would manage that. But I can start with.
Tomorrow today,
Tomorrow's the day, fingers
So that money that
crossed.
would be donated would go into their park project? Is that what you're saying?
It would go into however they,
general
wherever
fund
they,
or what?
wherever you
Well,
felt
no, a
that it-
grant has to be handled a certain
Okay.
way.
Not the grant.
Not the grant,
Okay.
donation part.
Well, we already discussed that, yes, I asked her if she wanted it put under donations for the park project,
Okay.
right? And that was, okay.
However you do your general ledger, where you wanna put it. I just know that people have come to us, and Jeremy's gotten a lot of contact and interest to do the engraving.
Anybody else?
I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but this road out here, which is Myers, that curves around the park, is completely washed out with tons of sand in the road. And for those of old people like me riding my bike around the lake, I have almost slipped and fallen in that. I don't know if somebody could just blow it off, but it's pretty thick, and I think it's probably from the park project.
I think a lot of us came where they tore that target where we talked earlier, but they can't hold nothing there. I think it's washing down, going around.
But that's pretty dangerous, because there's a lot of bike riders that will slip in that. If somebody
Okay.
could check into that, I'd
Yep.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Kurt, I have 2 items I think worth noting. On the survey, that's gonna be on the Survey Monkey, I assume, online.
I believe
Is
that's what they said.
are they prepared to actually taking written ones? Because that means somebody's gonna have to enter it. I don't know if they're prepared to actually hand out the survey and take written ones in.
Yes, they said they could do both.
They're gonna have to transcribe it. Okay. Just wanna make sure they don't get a surprise by it.
Yeah.
That was
It was
discussed,
discussed.
yeah.
Okay. The other one is on this, Park and Rec board, you need to make sure you described it as advisory. As an advisory board, they don't have to have public meetings. That's why you need to make sure it's an advisory meeting, or board. That way they can hold their meetings, with just the 5
Well,
members.
we kinda wanted to be known when they have their meetings.
Well, they'll get invited whoever they want, but as an advisory board, under the Open Meetings Act, they don't have to have the audience at every meeting. And they don't have to put it out there.
And an
Sometimes
advisory board
important.
is, of course, just that. You've gotta come to us for a final.
Right,
Yeah.
You can't make any decisions, this guy.
Thanks, Dave. Anybody else? Dan?
I got a question on this 414 South Main Street. Why does that need to be surveyed? What's the story behind that?
Down there by the old town hall.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when they auctioned it off, they thought it all went together. Well, come to find out, there's about a 4-foot strip on the south side of it.
Parking lot.
It's
And then
owned
the
by the
parking lot.
township.
Township still owns it.
So you said something about a description is wrong, or?
Yes,
Legal description.
legal description is wrong by our assessor. She says it's in the county. So it needs to be, before we do anything with it, we need to get a legal description of it so they can get it straightened out.
Okay, the strip,
Yeah.
or both, actually,
Yeah,
I see. But you can keep it as parking then,
good.
Well, they've got things, parked on there right now.
huh? Well, I got things parked at my place too.
Right, that's not a problem.
Art?
A couple of things that you are correct. I was watching the YouTube of the prior meeting. And I was watching it because of the inappropriate comments that had been made about me. That I was a good breeder and that I was a gram. And nothing was said to stop that. I understand that it was also said at the DA meeting that I was a good breeder. Now, I was a researcher for the Library of Congress, and I will give you a list, because you are a doubter, and Kurt is a doubter, about the sources that I have surveyed to find out data about how much the property costs, how much people can make from it, and so on and so forth. So I will get that to the board before the next meeting, and guarantee I'm not wrong. Finally, I was interrupted when I was trying to talk because I was going to bring up something about the 30 bales of hay, rolls of hay, that were taken off the $1 property. 30 rolls of hay. Now you need to Google it and find out how much that could go for a farmer, because that came off the property that he has been leasing for $1. I've got a picture of it. I can show it to you.
Since we're in a discussion here.
Yes. I'm not in a discussion.
Well,
You
you
can
can
discuss.
Okay, you
it.
guys,
I'm
please
not-
not discuss that anymore.
That's what she's been
Please
doing,
don't do
you
that.
allowed it.
Please don't do that.
You just allowed it.
Please don't do that.
Go ahead, Garrett.
If you'd like to make a statement.
Sure. What is the value of property that's used to dispose of human waste that includes everything coming out of a household, which is not just your human excrement, but everything that people flush down the toilet or put down the drain, including comet, bleach, medicines, I mean, all kinds of stuff. Who wants to, that's different, seems to me, but I haven't done a lot of research, but it seems like that's different than regular,
You can feed your cows with those.
okay, but you can't put navy beans on it, for example, that goes to
No,
humans.
you can
You
feed
put
your
wheat, you
cows
can't
with
put
that, and
wheat.
you can feed the
Okay.
corn to your cows.
Okay, so it's.
Now,
not-
okay,
point
we're
of
not
order.
gonna do this.
Yeah.
If you guys wanna have a discussion outside, you're.
I don't, if she's the one who started it.
I want,
Anybody else? Bruce?
Last year you had the problem there with that leaf pickup, something broke down, what was it, a blower, a bearing and blower?
The housing went out of it, and then the impeller went out of it.
Well, my suggestion is, I hope we got two of them out there in the shop.
The problem was,
At least one of them.
it was $4,000 to get
Well,
one.
it's, if $4,000 keeps the machine going, you gotta have, you know, it's one of those things that, otherwise you're gonna have the same problem, because we understand, that's something that's been ongoing, and it's not, none of our fault, it's whoever takes, put rocks in the piles and
Yeah,
things in the
right.
back. But if this is something that breaks down all the time, I suggest to have one on the shelf out there.
we really need to get people to be more careful about rocks and sticks and.
Question, could you, put the survey in a PDF form on the website?
This is the draft survey that we have now, and I'm going to give my copy of this to the 5 of you for your first meeting, and you can
Okay.
check it out, and this is only the draft, and yes, it will be.
Okay.
Great.
And how are they gonna determine what size roller they're gonna get for the, rolling the lawn? What are they gonna pull behind, a big tractor, little tractor?
No, they were hoping to pull behind your zero turn.
Without
I don't think
mowing,
so, not in those
without mowing, they thought they could,
Yeah.
if they can't,
My comment on that, if I could, my comment on that would be, it might be better to have them rent one rather than
Yeah.
buy one. That way, 'cause you only need it once or twice.
Right.
I'd rather have the same rented
Zero turn.
and then not have it rust out there.
Okay.
let them, you know, these are DPW guys, and I would like to see them do what they're doing, which is take charge of their department.
Yep.
So all I want them to do is to figure out the right way, figure out some costs, both purchasing and renting, and own their department. That's what we hired them for. And I think they're more than, intelligent enough to do so. And I'm glad to hear that perhaps it won't work through one rather than the other, because I wouldn't know.
I have a public comment. There is an entire industry built around biosolids. You can Google it. That's the end.
I want to say fall cleanup, September 14th, 1 month away.
Oh, shoot.
Scary thought, sorry.
Anybody else? Garrett?
Any reason you couldn't amend your ordinance to allow that sixth person to be on your committee? I mean, it's nice that someone took the time to volunteer for that. And you obviously have an interest.
The law says you have to have an uneven number of members on any committee formed.
Yeah, okay, public comment from me.
And so you need 7 if you wanted to add one more, you need 2, not 1.
Add the 6 and then 1 board member, which I think people know I was very interested in joining that committee as well, so.
That would be amending the ordinance. And we could amend the ordinance at any time in the future to change that number and do that.
You're still in meeting session.
I don't have the ordinance in front of me. I'm not changing an ordinance when I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, we'll talk about next meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Cool.
Motion by Patty, second by Lisa to adjourn at 8:16. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Here's a 5-year man, I'm gonna be able to.
Well, thank you.